Good news. You may know this because you have listened to the podcast, but we had our friend Blake on the podcast 2 episodes ago. So episode 5, and this is now episode 7. Yeah. So he made the request that he wanted to return every episode that ended in 5. So 15, 25, etc. The condition was that he needed to get 5 emails with a request of them including a story, but it wasn't required. We just really wanted to know if people wanted to hear more of what Blake had to say, or really what he didn't have to say.
Yikes.
Mostly I say that because we didn't really talk about anything. We were kind of just running in circles. So we got the emails. I'm pulling them up now. One of them was an audio message, but I won't play that. We'll start with the first one that we got. We got an email with an anonymous story. So I'm going to read the story. It's a little bit of a roller coaster, so get ready.
All right.
Yeah. So this says, growing up, my dad was allergic to mushrooms, like any kind of mushroom, the drug kind or the food kind. My mom and I are big mushroom fans, but we could never have any in the house because my dad would have a reaction. So we could only eat them when we were out without him. Fast forward to when I was 15, my dad died. My mom had asked me to plan the funeral services and reception and such because it was very difficult for her. My dad's family came to our home following the events of the day, and my mom made some sort of joke about how we could finally have mushrooms in the house. Everyone looked at her confused, and she followed with, because he was allergic. And my grandfather laughs and says simply, "Did he tell you that? We used to feed him mushrooms and salads as a kid." My dad lied to us about his allergy in quotation marks because he didn't like them and didn't want my mom cooking them ever. Typical man behavior. So my question to you following this is, have you ever lied about having an allergy?
No. That's very weird. Like, I could die.
Yeah, I guess. I think it's funny. I mean, what a good bit, right? It's still a great bit from the grave. So I love it. All right. So the next one was sent from also an anonymous listener. By anonymous listener, I mean Blake's dad. It doesn't have any context per se.
It's no longer anonymous.
But it could be used in a future date, right? We'll circle back to these. All right. He has more interesting stories. His bike in the attack of the killer plant, his kindergarten nickname, his favorite teacher, his football career, 1 touchdown. How he met his hot doctor wife, how he learned cooking, plumbing, electrical, and other neat skills. So we look forward to hearing Blake explain some of these little stories. One email was just from someone we actually didn't know, so that was exciting. Have Blake come back regularly to share some interesting stories with the listeners. One email was, believe it or not, from my dad. So I'll go ahead and read this one now. After Cassie's hardworking father came home and was supposed to be watching Cassie, he fell asleep, tired from working all of the overtime. Cassie, who was 1.5 to 2 years old, proceeded to get pink fingernail polish and paint Daddy's toenails while he slept, without spilling a drop on the couch. Impressive. Needless to say, this made for a great story for years to come. And now I like to paint my friends' nails in my free time. It's all about growth. The last one was the audio message.
Hey, Cassie, this is Tucker. I have to do this instead of email because the email is still not listed and the link tree is gone. But I want more Blake on the podcast, please. More Blake is better. We need him now on the podcast. And maybe me as well. Who knows what can happen. This is Tucker, by the way. Love it. Thanks. Bye.
We got a couple really interesting stories.